Hello, welcome back to the Really Fucking Brutal podcast.
It's about to get really fucking brutal.
I'm sorry. Let's start there. It's been a couple weeks since I've posted. To say the least, there's a lot going on with my health, with my current living situation. I have to up and move by the end of this month. So it's stressful trying to find a place, especially in this economy. So I've just been really stressed and been focusing my energy into places that require more of my attention lately. So that's why I haven't been here, but I'm back. I'm here. And what better way to come back and start the month of March than with a little bit of laughter, a little bit of silly, but also, of course, it is still a serious topic about mental health and relationships and abuse, but sometimes we can laugh through our trauma. We can, once we're healed, find the silver lining in the not so great things that have happened to us. So, without further ado, we are going to discuss things that my exes or your exes, because I asked you for your input, did that either you still stayed or did and you left. Doesn't matter. They did. Period. And it was freaking horrible. And we're going to discuss it and maybe have a few laughs and reflect on these horrific behaviors that a lot of times our exes display. For context, I've been building this list of my own, and I know there's more, but I've been building this list of my own for a year. So there's a lot, and I got to pick the right one to start with. Let's see. Some of these aren't exes. They might have been someone I went on a date with once, but it was so crazy. It made the list. I'm going to start reading now. I don't even know how to start this. Okay. Thought tomatoes with salt and pepper on them was his grandpa's idea and was literally upset with me when I said I had that before and it wasn't something his grandpa made up because it's literally tomatoes with salt and pepper. Be fucking for real. It's not a unique concept, buddy. Blamed me for the death of someone I had never met before. My ex blamed me for the death of a friend that happened at least 5 years before I even met my ex. For context, this was during a mental breakdown, a psychotic break, and he was convinced that I was the reason his friend died. Makes no sense, but they'll always place the blame somewhere. They need someone to blame it on. Yelled at me and got angry for saying his hometown didn't have a lot of trees. For context, that town or city was London, Ontario. For context, I live in British Columbia and grew up here in Vancouver. We are literally surrounded by trees in the mountains, sir. He was so offended that how dare I say that London, Ontario didn't have trees. And their like tagline for the city is like the forest city. So I had said like, why is it called the forest city? There's not even that many trees here. Big mistake. I got my ass whooped. Now this is a common one, and I've talked about it before. I wasn't allowed to listen to certain artists. They didn't have to be queer, but that's another like queer artists and songs. I remember one time I played Girls by Rita Ora, BB Rexa, Cardi B. It's like, sometimes I just want to kiss girls, girls, girls. Immediately when he heard that, he said, what the fuck are you trying to tell me? Blah, blah, blah. So I turned it off. And he gets mad at me for turning it off because I'm trying to hide something. So yeah, I wasn't allowed to listen to certain artists. Sometimes it was just an artist that I really liked because expressing how much I loved their music and or their music video, anything like that, was a threat to him. But yeah, queer artists and songs as well. Um, any male artist that I was obsessed with and loved because that obviously meant that I loved them more, wanted to be with them, and only thought about them and listened to them because I was attracted to them. This wasn't just music. I didn't have access to watching certain TV shows, certain movies, following certain people, anything due to his insecurity. Ooh, can you say insecure? Damn. This is a quote. Someone with that ass wouldn't be anorexic. Huh? I don't even know what to say. I've had anorexia since I was 11 or 12, but I can't possibly have anorexia because of my butt. That's what he said, like quote for quote. Someone with that ass wouldn't be anorexic as he slapped me. My ass. Might slap my ass. Next says he got cut from his own show for fighting the security guard. And who was left to clean up that mess? Manage the argument, fight, whatever the heck, and do crowd control? Me. Me. Like, how stupid do you have to be? Like, so aggressive, your ego is so inflated and large that and you're entitled, that you demand certain things from people in positions of power, and you get angry when it doesn't work in your favor, and you get cut from performing at a show. Next, lied about knowing his mom and sister and said they lived abroad. They did not. And I found out after we broke up because he like posted a photo of them at like a family dinner. It's like, oh, I thought like you hated them, they hated you, and they lived nowhere near here. You hadn't spoken to them in 8 years. No? Suspicious. Wanted to name our future kid after the name him and his ex had picked out for their future kids. Would that bother you? Even if it was like a hypothetical, because this was when I was younger and we're not even like actually thinking about having a kid, but to be like, babe, when we have a kid, can we name it, like for some reason, let's say Shyla? And I go, oh yeah, that's so cute. Like, where'd you think of that? And then you find out it was the name that him and his ex picked out for their kids if they were to have them. That just rubs me the wrong way. No, you can go back and try and have a Shyla with her then. No. Ew, no. Would only watch like reels, like short videos on YouTube because there's less restrictions and guidelines on the violence and the weapons in the video shown. So he would literally only stream those kinds of videos, stream short video. I think it's called the YouTube Shorts. Would only watch those because he could watch someone get their head blown off. He could watch someone die in a car accident. Like no censor. No censoring. Red flag. Also goes hand in hand, like there's a lot of subtle behaviors surrounding violence that can be a key indicator on how someone will treat their ex. This may be controversial, but being obsessed with hunting, being obsessed with collecting knives or guns, even like if you're not going to use them, but to keep on display, those kinds of things, as well as, only subscribing to a certain platform because you can watch the most violent stuff on there and you love that. Call the police. Call the police right now. What the heck? Gross. This next one needs context. So, I don't know if you guys have seen around New Year's, people will do the 12 grapes under the table challenge for luck in finding love in that new year. So, when I was with my ex, I had just seen this and I was like, "Oh my god, we should do that. Like together, let's each get 12 grapes. We'll sit under the table at midnight, eat our grapes and like hope that we have a super awesome year together as a couple." He immediately accused me of only wanting to do it because I must have done it in the past with another ex of mine. I must have been trying to recreate old events and feelings that I had with other exes. To this day, I have not done that 12 grape thing because it was weaponized against me. How silly, how stupid, and how insecure. All these behaviors come back to insecurity. Was a part of a Christian band, but their behaviors did not reflect those ideals and ideations. Similarly, I saw a post that I really related to on TikTok the other day that said, "You know, someone has done something so extremely horrible in their life and they feel so guilty, they try and, you know, fix themselves but by becoming hyper religious." That spoke to me. One of my exes, as soon as we broke up, he always he's a white boy, but tries to be black, portrays himself as a black individual with his hair, his language, not just using the N word, but how he talks and communicates. He tries to create this life and facade around him that is often many of the characteristics of black men that we see in the music industry, which he claims he's in the music industry. After we broke up, he converted to Muslim, which again, there's a large amount of black people that are Muslim, and ever since we broke up, he joined the Muslim community, got, I don't know what that is, like indoctrinated into the fucking thing. I don't know, had someone bless him in. I don't know. I'm not trying to be disrespectful towards the religion. I'm trying to be disrespectful towards my ex. To be honest, he's done something so horribly wrong because he has become extremely hyper religious. So they think it'll like void out the horrible things they've done in their life if they just give themselves to God. No. And it's not real because their lifestyle does not align with the religion they are claiming to associate with. My ex, this ex, all his songs, when they're not talking about me, tearing me down, are about fucking bitches, not giving a shit, like making money, screwing girls, degrading women, all that stuff. And that's how he posts on Instagram. But then throws in like subtle, like, be blessed today, boys. Alhamdulillah. Like, love you guys. Like, I really care about men's mental health. Reach out to me if you blah, 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 blah. But then talks shit about me in his songs, talk shit about women, talk shit about, things he did to me and my mental health and my past. But then portrays himself as this hyper religious person online one every 3 days. That's so embarrassing. I don't know how you can't be embarrassed. Because to everybody else, it's so evident that you're not okay and that the psychotic break is continuing to break. God, you must be exhausted. You've been like in a manic episode for like at least a year. Would say praying for you, but I'm not going to pretend to be religious like you. So. At a family dinner with his entire extended family. We sat around the table at dinner and they proceeded to talk shit about someone I knew who ended up killing themselves, saying she deserved it and it was her mother's fault for the reason she chose to end her life. I sat there with the biggest lump in my stomach, the biggest lump in my throat, tears welling up in my eyes, unable to speak. And my ex at the time just sat there and didn't say anything. I ended up getting up and leaving the house immediately, calling my mom to pick me up. And I left. And when my ex boyfriend at the time had brought it up to his family, it of course was pushed aside and pushed down and made to seem like it wasn't that big of a deal and that I was sensitive and that I was the only one that would have a problem with what they were saying. But what they said was extremely hurtful because someone I knew and that was once in my life, struggled so hard they turned to ending their life. And years later, you decide to sit around a table, not even knowing that I had a connection to this person and say she deserved it and that there were better ways she could have carried out the act, that her mother was to blame. That hurts. Even just that hurts me. And that hurt me, and it continued to hurt me to not have my partner at the time stick up for me, because that is insane. That's insane. There's no excuse for talking about that about anybody. It was a tragedy, and people are in mourning, and people are healing, and people will, be mourning for the rest of their lives because of this person dying. And for you to sit around a table with your family and make light of it, number one, that's not typical dinner conversation. And number two, shut the fuck up. Key note for this video, just tell them to everybody just needs to shut the fuck up. He wanted to demonstrate how you could choke someone out from behind, like make them lose consciousness. And he really wanted to show how that could be done, so he used me as a prop. I've never been choked out like that immediately. Like, you can feel like all this pressure in your brain and everything goes black, and like the feeling of suffocating is so scary. But, that was cool. And, he wanted to show how he could do it. So let me show you, babe. Got into a physical altercation with his roommate over a chip bowl. Like, any and every altercation with these people goes from being a level 1 on how you should respond to them responding at a level 5,000. Someone used your chip bowl. Oh no! I'm going to threaten you with physical violence. I'm going to threaten to end your life. How dare you use my chip bowl? It ain't that serious. God. Followed me to work, would sit outside my work for hours, try and enter my work, harass people to show him where I was. From then got barred from my work, but would linger around the premises and leave notes on my car. And like, had to be present, had to have control over every second of every day, that it even came to my workplace, until you had to be physically banned from coming within a certain perimeter of the building. Would use burner phones to harass me for years. That, I'll give it to you, that's some commitment, because I'm not wasting, I don't know how much a fucking burner phone is, even if it's $50. I'm not wasting $50 on a burner phone for a week just for you to snap it and go get another one and another one for years. Huh? That is dedication, my guy. But I am not the one. Only wore sandals or flip-flops 24/7. Here's a hot take. I don't think men should be allowed to have their toes out. Even in the summer. Like going to the beach, That's a girl thing. That's a girl behavior. That's a girl activity. The only girls can have pretty feet, so only girls can have their toes out anytime, anywhere. Like, if you're a man, you need to be wearing socks 24/7, 365, or I will verbally harass you. Put it away! God, men's feet are so ugly. Why would you want to show them off automatically? Like, even if they're not like really gross feet, I've seen some really gross feet, like having them out and you're a 10 immediately takes you down to like a 4. Put your toes away. Cute little sandals, Birkenstocks, those kind of things, like flip flops, those are for girls. Stop taking our shit. Fuck off. Asked me if I wanted to be the one to give him his steroid shots. Are you joking? I don't even look at the injection when I'm getting my flu shot yearly. What makes you think I want to put a needle into your body? Yes, he was on steroids. Let's not glaze over the fact. What the hell? In what mind do you go like, hey, do you want to like shoot up in my booty tonight? Like, do you want to shoot it into my... What? That's gross. No. this point, this point just says, was old and bald. Criminal. Didn't see me in the hospital after my attempt. Didn't contact me, didn't see me. When I came home, he wasn't there. Like, I was alone in the hospital. I felt alone before the hospital. I felt alone after in the psych ward, sorry. I felt alone afterwards. Like, where were you? Where were you? I'm sorry, like, if my partner was going through that much of a stressful time, and like I'm putting myself in their shoes at that situation. Definitely there was no reason why I couldn't have been supported better during that time. In what world would you not go visit your partner, like, or try and make contact or call or make sure you're home or can give them a ride home from the hospital? Like, that just seems like the bare minimum in that situation to me, at least. After I made my attempt, he told me I reminded him too much of his ex and that he never wanted to see or speak to me again because of it. So that also made me feel like shit. And as soon as I got out of the hospital, I just wanted to, again, like, why does everybody's all for mental health and all for loving and supporting you while you're struggling, but not when it comes to an attempt. As soon as you attempt, it's like, oh, that's where I draw the line. That's where I draw the line on crazy, babe. Fuck. Drove 160 kilometers an hour down a 30-kilometer road that was extremely winded, secluded, narrow, and pitch black with no street lights. I have never had a panic attack like that where, like, I looked physically calm, but my body was in, like, full body shakes. Like, I couldn't stop my legs from shaking. You know when you, like, shake like this? Like, no, this was, like, full on, like, tick glitching like this. That hard. I couldn't prevent my legs from shaking. That's how scary the situation was. Not only was he, like, speeding and all that, but he was spinning out and doing donuts and burnouts and everything in this super secluded, dark, narrow, windy area. Like, I felt so unsafe. I definitely thought I was going to die. Definitely thought I was going to die. Any reckless behavior like that is immediately a red flag. Only cooked me dinner once in over a year of being together. It's fine if you have that communication and that understanding that, I want to be the one to cook, or not even like cooking's your job, but like, I really enjoy the cooking. I'll do the cooking every, it'll be known that I'll stick to the cooking every night, but I can communicate with you on the days I'm not feeling it. And, you're able to step in and support me that way. It should be flexible, not like, well, you're going to cook for me every night regardless. And if you don't cook for me even one night, I'm going to ask you why dinner's not made and ready and why you're not serving me the second I walk through the door. That's not fair, especially because I was working and he was not. And I still made dinner every single day. I made him every meal, not just dinner. Breakfast, lunch, dinner. For the over a year we were together, and he only cooked for me once. Once. Was a kleptomaniac. Stole any and everything. It wasn't even like just from stores where he would like pocket stuff from stores. We had a sign in our room because he stole it. That was easily like, I'm sorry, I don't know measurements very well, but like a meter by meter, okay, realty sign of some Indian man. So I have some Indian man's blown up face this large in my fucking bedroom staring me down each night. Starbucks menu signs, Popeyes menu signs, random flag, like little flaggers for the road, like just stole any and everything. And what did we do with it? Absolutely nothing. There was no purpose. Pull over, I gotta take that fucking sign of the Indian man whose face is blown up this large. So it can sit on our fucking, across from the bed so that when you turn over every night, are adjusting, open your eyes. Ah! He's right fucking there. Makes no sense. Was legally ordered to take domestic violence prevention classes, like to learn how to not beat your partner up and not hurt your partner. Did it work? No. When we broke up, the next new girlfriend he got a week after had my exact name. I have a unique name, and she used the same nickname as me. That's crazy work. That's crazy. Gifted me his ex-girlfriend's chapstick for Valentine's Day. And I only realized because when I put it on, I asked why it was tinted. Because he told me it was his originally. But he was like, I found this laying around. It was his ex-girlfriend's. And the first week I lived there, I found their pink fuzzy handcuffs under the mattress. And he lied to me and told me that him and his friends bought them as a joke. Really, bitch? Either they were you and her, or you and your friends are gay. And that's fine, because I'm gay, but damn. Be honest. Took way too much mushrooms, and I had to take him to the ER where he sat for 5 hours to sober up just for me to drive him home. Piss me off. You ruined my night. I think he took like 4 grams. Started absolutely losing his mind. I've never seen someone spiral and go absolutely psychotic. And it was like that, and I felt like I was babysitting. Oh, it was a trip sitting. I was trip sitting. But I did not sign up to go on a trip. So what did I do during those 5 hours in the waiting room at the hospital? I left him there. Damn, you want to act like a chore? I'm going to put you off. So I dropped him off, made sure he was okay, checked him in, and I went to McDonald's, got myself some food. I drove around for a few hours, blasting music. Hey, picked him up when he wasn't tripping no more. You are a fucking child. So I'm going to drop you off and pick you up. Like a fucking daycare. They can trip sit you, not me. Started doing his stripper routine at the Weeknd concert. He was a stripper and would only strip to the Weeknd song. So when we went to the concert, he's literally like to the same songs and shit in the seats. Do you know how embarrassed I was? Ew. Anyways, we're making up for it because I bought tickets to see The Weeknd on my own this year. So, making up for it. Wore my sunglasses to his concert after we broke up and he had stolen all my belongings, including an engagement ring from my previous relationship. He stole a lot of stuff. He stole Jordans, he stole a whole bunch of my shoes, all my clothes, um, hard drives, all bunch of important shit. But he stole my engagement ring. But then to steal my sunglasses and then like wear them on stage to your stupid performance in a crowd of 11. Be fucking for real. Stupid. Invited me to help coach his Zoom yoga class at 8 a.m. after our one night stand. Sir, if you're getting up at 8 a.m., I'm getting up at 6 and I'm leaving. Let alone, why would you ask me to help coach your Zoom yoga class in your little basement? No, what? You want me to co-teach yoga with you this morning? After our one. And then the note above says, this is the same guy. Asked me to move to Mexico with him to pursue being a yoga teacher 3 hours into meeting. So is the 8 a.m. Zoom like my interview? That's my application. I'm applying? Is that what I have to do to like qualify? I have to like prove I'm worthy? And then we'll just move to Mexico and we can teach yoga there. These people are crazy, yo. Asked me to move in on the first date. Meanwhile, his daughter didn't have her own room and slept in the living room on the couch. But he offered to let me move in because, we would share the bed. Meanwhile, she doesn't have one. Oh my God. And then I ghosted him because, like, how dare you, like, on a first date, invite your date to move in with you when you have a kid living in the same home and they don't even have a bedroom, a bed. They don't have anything. They just sleep on the couch. Of course I ghost you. 3 months later, he texts me, I don't know what happened. What happened is you need to prioritize your kid and not getting some girl on the first date to move in with you. Weirdo. Told me about his wife and his 2 kids after we hooked up on the first date. And that's all I'm going to say about that. I didn't know. Okay. Asked for me to give him foot jobs. And these are the men, that will fight you after you honk at them. They're the ones asking for foot jobs. They're the ones sucking toes. They ain't tough. They are not tough. If it was a perfect world, they would ask you to put your big toe up their anus. They are not tough. Show them your feet and they'll bark. Next time you get in a road rage with some huge jacked guy with a big ego, rip out the dogs and he will start barking. Said the essay allegations were false and that she was a crazy bitch. I found out that a guy I was seeing had pending sexual assault charges against him from someone else. Only because a group of girls reached out to me and told me. And he told me that she was a liar and a crazy bitch and was doing that to, like, what's it called? Blackmail him into getting back together with her. I don't know, but I'm always going to believe the girl. Said if we didn't have sex every day, multiple times a day, whenever he wanted, he would find it somewhere else. And we talked about this and he said, like, I need it. That's something I require as a person. Like, people are different, but I require to, like, have sex multiple times a day. And if you're not willing to do that with me, I'm going to cheat on you, basically. And this is why I don't crave a relationship. I don't crave intimacy. Like, just leave me alone. I don't want to be seen as a piece of meat. He had a sex addiction, if you couldn't tell. He ran down the street saying, "I can't believe this fucking bitch," and trying to get other people to jump in and also shame me and scream at me, and sometimes it worked. Yeah, they have no shame in their actions. They want to make you seem like the crazy one. Had me pay the deposit and for half of my own engagement ring, and said he would pay me back later. And then this other guy steals the ring. I really got fucked over so bad. During the relationship, he sexually assaulted me and was domestically violent. When I broke up with him, he messaged my mom telling her I was cheating on him to cover his ass. Honestly, not surprised. Like, not original. Offered to give me one more chance after shoving me into a fridge and a microwave, holding me hostage in his room. Before I luckily got away, he chased me, then threw all my belongings, suitcases, clothing, everything at my head. But he offered to give me one more chance. I took my shit and left. Called me when he was working to tell me I needed to log into his Fortnite so I could attend a concert so he could get a badge. You're at work. Maybe prioritize work. Stupid fucking game. This is a quote. Told me, "I just don't understand consent." After we had talked about it continuously during our 3-year relationship, because he sexually abused me that entire 3 years of our relationship. And at the end of it, he just said, like, "I still don't understand the concept of consent." Even though we had discussed it so much, because he was a literal repeat offender. Told me if I really loved him, I would learn the intro to Love Sosa by Chief Keef and be able to recite it word for word with him. I still have not learned the stupid fucking intro because it's not important. And what the fuck do you mean? Thought deodorant was something only some people needed. And if that were true, you are one of them. Slap it on, silly. Invited me over to his apartment. When he opened the door, he said, "I just jacked off a few minutes ago, so I won't be wanting to have sex." Ew. Ew. You invited me over, number one, and I responded saying, like, "Okay, that's fine. I'm not coming over to have sex with you." And clearly that's what he thought I was only there to do. But he already rubbed one out a few minutes before I arrived while I was parking. So, don't get your hopes up. We're not fucking. I already did it. Boys are so gross. Ew. Okay, now we're gonna go and read some of your guys's. I'm gonna read some of yours. Here we go. This person says, "One of my ex-friends, we were attached at the hip." Okay, so it sounds like this person was friends with F. No. This person is friends with A, and A is dating F. Okay, so it says, "F would always make a big deal if me and A would hang out, even if F was sick or didn't want to come. Then when me and A tried to end the friendship multiple times, they'd threaten to do crazy shit. Then I finally got away from F in 9th grade. I felt like getting rid of a parasite." Yeah, abusive people will try and control the relationships that their partner has with, any and everyone, family, friends, co-workers, their workplace, like anything. And they will try and isolate their friend. And not even just, doing the toxic behaviors to their partner, but also to the friends. They don't care how they're perceived. You already likely know that they're being treated badly, so they're going to treat you badly in order to, hopefully weed you out and keep them their partner all to themselves. So sorry you went through that. This person says, called me crazy to his ex-fiance and tried to cheat on me with her, but she rejected him because he killed her dog. Also, didn't know about it until 2 years later when I met his ex-fiance at a bar and went out with her one night. Oh my god! He killed her dog? Oh my god. But what a like the other woman moment where you guys like met up and had a kiki. I love that. But oh my god. Oh my god, not the dog. What did the dog do? I'm so sorry. I am so sorry that happened. Next one. This person says, broke up with me right after I had a stroke and tried getting with all my friends. He's still with one of them, even though she knows he cheated on her with a girl on Discord. Oh my god. See, this is why these men have such big egos and think like, and they're ugly, and like think they can do whatever to whoever and fuck girls over and just use them as toys and cheat here, cheat there, is because there is someone who's willing to allow those behaviors to happen. Broke up with me right after I had a stroke. What the fuck? That's horrible. Tried getting with all my friends after. So it sounds like he did get with one of them. And the girl he was with, he cheated on. He cheated on the girl he cheated on you with. And a Discord girl? I mean, a girl on Discord? My god. My god! There's no way. Okay. We've got a couple more, I think. Maybe just one more. And that'll be all because I'm tired, I'm hungry, I'm thirsty, the sun's going down. Okay. Let's see. Ah! This is the last one and it's triggering. It's very sad. But this is another telltale sign that someone is a bad person is how they treat animals. And we just talked about how that guy had killed that girl's dog. This person says that their ex sexually assaulted their cat. My ex would abuse my dog physically, throw her on the floor and treat her poorly, but I've never had, thankfully, witnessed someone sexually abusing an animal. That's unacceptable. Animals are so innocent and offer us humans such immense support and friendship and loyalty. And to break the trust that an animal gives us, that is so sacred, in such a horrible way is so sad. And that must be so traumatizing for you. And I don't want to end on a sad note, but I just want to talk about that. That's not okay. That's so scary. You didn't deserve to go through that. Neither did your cat. And I hope that you're healing and that that person no longer has access to you in your life. And I hope you're okay. All right. I think that's all we're going to talk about for today. There were a lot of laughs. There was a lot of reflection. If there's something I missed, something you didn't get to contribute, comment it down below. Let me know. I'd love to know. I'd love to hear. If it makes you laugh now, looking back, would love to laugh with you. Let me know what you'd like to see coming up. Things are kind of rough for me right now, but I'm hoping to stay a little bit more consistent heading into March and April. So let me know if there's anything specifically you'd like to see. Thank you so much for watching this week's episode. I love you so much. Take care. Bye.
It's about to get really fucking brutal.